everybody, Pai-chan here, and today we're back with another anime review. Sadly, I couldn't get around to watching the one that I had wanted to watch because some stuff came up in my life and I wasn't able to watch it. And part of it, you can see in the background, there is that shelf now is all organized. So I did a big cleanup on my room here. But let's get to the review. Well, actually, first, let's do this so that nobody yells at me. Because I am pretty sure for this one, if I don't, I will get some complaints in the comments below. So, warning, spoilers are ahead. Okay, now, this time I found it was still sort of a horror one, and one that I hadn't really seen before, but it was okay. And the one that I am talking about is actually the anime Petshop of Horrors. I will admit, I've read it. The mangas are actually a lot better, and they actually have a cohesive story, even though there are little parts in there. There are little parts that that still jump around a little bit, but not nearly as much as the anime, and we'll get to that a little bit more when we get to when I'm talking about the story. But first, as always, with this, but you should know by now with these that if you've been watching my videos, that I have a little system that I do, and that starts out with talking about the characters. And with this being a bit of an episodic, whatever it's called, there's only a few characters that stay consistent through the whole series, through the whole thing, which sadly was only 4 episodes. I wish there was more of it, because it was pretty good. But apart from that, I'm just going to stop rambling about that. But, so, first there is Count D. Now, you may think this is a girl, but it's actually a guy. And he does have a feminine voice in the dub. I'm not too sure about the sub. I usually watch the dub, though I am not putting anything down about subbed anime. Heck, when I watched most of Naruto for the first time, I watched most of it in sub, so there's that. But with D here, he is the owner of the pet shop. And you may be thinking, well, why is it called Petshop of Horrors? Well, this guy doesn't just sell the regular dogs, cats, and all that. He sells all kinds of things along with those. And with the show, the animals that he sells to people are dangerous if they don't adhere to the terms of the contract, which there are always 3 terms. And of the 4 episodes, 3 episodes of which were that you could not show the animal to anybody. So that kind of makes you scratch your head a little bit. But this guy, he has a major sweet tooth and loves his tea. But he is always willing to help, and he's got this cute little bat rat thing that he has. It's kind of a creepy cute. Well, enough rambling about him. Then, oh, but before I go on to the next character, even in the manga, it isn't directly said so, but it is hinted, very strongly hinted actually, that he is not human. So, there's that. And then there's the only other one that I'm going to talk about, Detective Leon, who, yes, he is a detective, and it shows him periodically working with other people, and there's this female detective here that he is the other main one that helps him out, but it doesn't flesh her out very much, even in the manga. And he is the one that connects all the weird murders and stuff that have been going on, connects them back to he is the only one that has connected them back to the pet shop. But D protects himself from that because of the contract saying that if any of the patrons breach the contract, the pet shop is not liable. So there's that, and he is kind of leery about Count D, which, if you think about it, is kind of understandable. So that's sort of his character. He's a little cocky dude that follows his instincts pretty well, and it is pretty spot on, though he can't do anything about it because D is covered by the law because of the contracts. Well, with this, can't really get into any of the music because there isn't any, which kind of knocks it down quite a bit, which is kind of sad because it is an extremely good story. If they had carried it on further and actually connected everything together. So, with the art style, it is extremely dark. The coloring and all that is very dark. So, I love the way the atmosphere that it created, like this dark and I can't think of the word right now, but this kind of dark vibe that it gave off that was perfect for the setting of the story. So now let's get into the story of it. And like I said, it goes in the episodic, I think it's called, things where honestly you could mix them up and they would still pretty much make sense. The only one that you have to watch first is the first episode, because that is where it shows that Detective Leon is the one that makes this connection and everything. And in the first one, it is a killer. It is where these parents have just lost their daughter, and they buy a rabbit that looks like their daughter, that is really creepy and all that, and you find out a lot more about what happened. And it's actually kind of really sad but they brought what happened to them on themselves. And then the second episode is where an actress commits suicide on her wedding night, though you don't find that out until the end. And her husband buys a mermaid from the count, who to him looks like his dead wife, and he goes through all kinds of stuff. He goes through quite a bit, and he breaches the contract by letting the fish go hungry and the mermaid go hungry, and the mermaid eats him. And I forgot that in the first episode, their breach of the contract was they were not supposed to give the rabbit anything but water and vegetables. They gave the rabbit sweets, and it did what rabbits do. Though this rabbit, how the children are born is they chew their way out of the mother's stomach, which is actually really creepy, but it's so cool. And so with the third episode, it is sorry, I was drawing a blank there for a moment. It was pretty much a washed up actor who loves reptiles and all that. He's sort of trying to make a comeback, but his wife wound up leaving him, and so through little things, he wound up getting it doesn't have the snakes for the hair and all that, but he wound up getting a gorgon. And it's explained what it is, and it actually doesn't show him. It starts off the episode with the detective and stuff, finding him dead, not knowing the cause, and a lizard there with him. Then you come to find out that lizard was an albino gorgon, though it doesn't say what type of lizard it is. I just know the Greek mythology, so I know what it's called. And it goes through that after a few things, his breach of contract was he could not look in the Gorgon's eyes, and the Gorgon was blindfolded this whole time. And he knew that he wasn't tricked or anything like that into doing anything like that. He just knew that he couldn't bear the thought of him not being able to protect her, so his one thing that he wanted to do was look into her eyes, so that's what he did. Because he had fallen in love with her, and then she looked in a mirror looking at her own eyes because she had fallen in love with him and she couldn't live without him. Then the last episode, that one was a little confusing if you had just watched it without reading the manga or anything like that to know what's going on, to catch all the little nuances of what's going on. Because there's some things that it showed in the manga that it didn't show in the episode, which I can't think of any right now, but they're there. And this one was a senator and his assistant going there trying to get a Kirin, which is one of the Chinese sacred beasts. And they go through, and it's when his wife goes there that the Kirin actually says, yes, they can have it. The little twist is, for their wish to come true, there has to be bloodshed. And in the end, the Kirin what happens is they save a school bus of kids, but the assistant and the senator are thrown off a cliff. Well, the assistant dies and the senator lives, but nobody realizes except for the senator that their minds and consciences, I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong, were switched. So it's actually the consciousness of the assistant that survived, which I'm actually glad it turned out that way, because the senator, his consciousness was a freaking jerk. But that's pretty much the story in the anime. In the manga, it goes further, and it actually connects all of them. It connects all of them more. It goes more into the backstory and all that. And it adds some characters and everything like that. It's just a more seamless story that was which was a lot more enjoyable. So all in all, with the lack of music, it being so short, and it being a bit confusing and everything, I'd have to give this one about a 5 out of 10. It's good. It's okay. If you're a little curious about it, I would give it a watch and see it. Though I will tell you, it does still have a bit of the gory side to it. So there's that. And now, if you guys have noticed a little thing off into the corner of the video, that is what I'm going to be showing off today. And it kind of goes with it, considering, so that's why I chose this one. It is a little Kirara plushie, Kiara, however you want to pronounce it. A little plushie of her from Inuyasha. I forget how much she's cost, and she is a little dirty right now. I just noticed that. But she's been loved. But you can probably get her on eBay. I forgot where I actually got her from. But she's been loved and everything like that. She is, I think, one of my older ones, though. I can look over and see one of the first plushies that I've ever gotten up there, which I will be showing him in one of my other videos. So, there's that. Her tag's even completely faded and you can't see anything anymore. But, well, like always, guys, if you want to contact me more, my Twitter and DeviantArt account will be down in the description. So go ahead and go check them out. I don't do much on Twitter at the moment except for show these videos, but that's all right. And my DeviantArt at the moment is older pictures, but they're fun to look at. So, as always, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos coming through soon. Well, thanks. See ya!